last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Thank you.
Oh my gosh, that is so beautiful. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So I appreciate you all very much for coming in at such an early hour. But before I continue, as a point of personal privilege, I want to thank the small group of very fierce Chicago AAPI community and business leaders who brought you the amazing Taste of Asia yesterday. Yes. So give me a show of hands of those of you that were there yesterday. All right. Do you all have a great time? Yeah, right? So please join me in thanking the planning committee led by Aurora Ostraco. Please stand up. Whose daughter Danielle just gave the Pledge of Allegiance. Susan Patel, I don't know whether she was able to make it this morning or not, but she was, is she there? Susan? Yes, okay. Susan is the one that managed the whole thing, the whole process. George Mui, who pulled all of us together to make this happen. Kelly Kim, stand up, Kelly, who kept everyone on task. And most especially, I want to thank all the Chicago AAPI Chambers of Commerce and AAPI community organizations that came together in a space of 3 months. I'm telling you, this is a humongous task. They did it in 3 months. So this is fantastic. So huge kudos. And so will all of you that were part of that event yesterday, please stand up so that we can all recognize you. Now, hey, I know some of them are supposed to be coming, but I think that they're a little bit delayed, and we'll get to recognize them again. But anyway, thank you so very, very much. But what is even more amazing is that many of these chambers came together just in June. They didn't know each other before. And what is even greater is that because they came together for this event, they're going to be doing it in the future. And they're going to be getting together. This will be a yearly event. So thank you very much, Aurora, and the leadership team that put this together. Again, thank you. So at this time, allow me the pleasure of introducing to you my leadership team. Otto Lee from California is my vice chair. Keith Umemoro is my secretary, and he is also from California. Now, Amy Monk is probably delayed in transit, so she will come up here whenever she gets in. And I'm Belle Young Hong, your chair, and I'm from Maryland. As I look across this room, I feel such joy. in seeing all of you, all your beautiful faces here, and this one of the most significant and historic political events in the presidential cycle. Seeing how we have grown, how far we have come together, and yes, how much we still have to go. But we're gonna go together as joyful warriors. I remember that in my first convention in 2004, so allow me the privilege of just reminiscing a little bit. In 2004 in Boston, we had less than 200 people, and we were so excited that they were there. 200, just think about it. And I'm told that the registration for this caucus, as of yesterday, was 1,200. But that's not including all the delegates. So if you add the delegates, that's 1,600. So give yourselves a round of applause. We have grown. But the most important aspect of this growth is that we have not only increased in size, but in political empowerment. Later in the program, we're going to showcase a political power in real time. And we have in the House a number of elected officials. To begin with, I'm going to recognize Judy Chu, the chair of our KPAC. Please, Judy, stand up. Yeah. Judy will offer us some remarks in a little bit. And I think I have a number of other elected officials. Will you just please stand up at this moment so that we can recognize you? Okay. And now realize that these are not all of them at this point because many of them are still out in the lines. So let me continue to compare the then and now. 20 years ago in 2004, we had 8 DNC AAPI Caucus members, just 8. And of those 8, only 6 were elected. 2 of us had to be appointed in order to be able to form a caucus. And we were able to form a caucus thanks to the vision and the persistence of my officer here, Keith Umemoto. Keith, please stand up so that we can recognize you. It is his vision and it is his persistence that made sure that DNC recognized that we AAPIs had a voice, that we needed to be heard. But it wasn't easy, and I remember that fight. So thank you, Keith. Fast forward 20 years later, we have 32 members, of whom 29 are elected DNC members or their state party chairs or vice chairs. Just think about that. And that in itself is worth celebrating. Will the AAPI party chairs and vice chairs that are here please stand? I don't know. Okay. So back in 2020, all 6 elected members were from Hawaii, California, or the Pacific Islands, with me and 1 other member appointed from Maryland and DC respectively. Today, our elected members come from 19 states and territories, including Dems abroad. Representation truly matters, and I want to thank you for stepping forward to run for the DNC and represent your state. Will all of our delegates that are here please stand? Yeah. On behalf of our caucus and the DNC were particularly happy to welcome the delegates to the convention from our 50 states and territories. I understand that at this convention, each state has elected more AAPI delegates than any previous convention. Will all the AAPI delegates of the convention please stand to be recognized? I'm going to have you do your exercise this morning. And of great interest and welcome recognition, we have AAPI members in each of the convention standing committees, the platform committee, the credential committee, and the rules and bylaws committee. Will these standing committees members please stand? Great. So all of you respected community leaders who are joining us for the first time in person, in an in-person convention since 2016 in Philadelphia. Let's give this amazing audience a welcome round of applause. You are the future of our party. So this convention has a special historic significance because for the first time in American history, we celebrate having the first Asian American and the first Black woman to be officially nominated for President of the United States for a major political party. So, allow me a point of privilege also. I'm going to get emotional thinking about this, but I want to share a personal story with you. At the last in-person meeting of the DNC in San Francisco 5 years ago this week, on August 22nd, 2019, to be exact, then Senator Kamala Harris, the presidential candidate in a field of 15, came to our visit our caucus. And before she began her speech, she gave me a hug, and I whispered into her ears, "It is my dream, my personal dream, that in my lifetime, I will see an AAPI President of the United States." She made that come true partially and became the Vice President of the United States. Partially. I said, one more step. And how wonderful the Biden-Harris administration has been. History will remember this administration as being one of the most consequential in recent times. We could rightfully spend hours talking about all the accomplishments in the past 4 years, from roads and bridges to bringing manufacturing and jobs, lots of jobs, back to this country, to investing in climate and environment, to protecting our most vulnerable, to lowering costs of prescription drugs, to doing away with hidden junk fees, and I could go on and on and on, but I think I would take the rest of the day to do that. So we're not going to do that. But we're still not going to be able to enumerate everything that has been accomplished and all the good things that they have done for our country. What is unique about our president and our vice president is that they care about us. They protect all of us and made us more visible than ever. Not just the rich and the mighty, but each and every one of us. Unlike the challenger, who only cares about himself and promised his billionaire friends that he would give them tax cuts, and who despised people like us, like you and me, people of color, immigrants. He would roll back the progress that we've already made under President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris, the progress that we made together. So yes, this is why we must fight. And coming out of this convention, We must fight to win. What drives us in this election is much, much more. It is the fight to protect our freedom and our rights, which were chipped away in the courts. It is a fight against the threat of potential movement towards totalitarianism, much of which is laid out in Trump's Project 2025 roadmap. You read this Project 2025, you will agree with me that this is an existential fight against what the other side wants to do. It is a fight against the living conditions and the terrors that many of us immigrants fled from our birth country, myself included. Indeed, this is an existential fight for our American way of life. Congressman Ted Lieu is going to talk about the Project 2025 task force that he's leading in Congress a little bit later. But this is a fight we must win. We have to win. So we must fight to win. This election deserves no less. In a fight to win any election, there's a three-legged stool, and each of the leg is equally important in order for the candidate or the ticket to win. With the candidate at the center of that stool, the three legs we must have in equal measure is money, votes, and communication or messaging. Clearly, we have to start with a strong candidate, and we have that, don't we? We have the Harris-Walz ticket, which is by every measure as strong a presidential ticket as I have seen in my lifetime. And no, I'm not biased at all. In less than 4 weeks, the Harris-Walz ticket has consolidated coalitions not previously seen. The enthusiasm meter is off the chart. We're not only getting our traditional base of Democrats enthusiasm, it is accelerating to watch the one-upsmanship of every group that can be formed in trying to outdo each other. And this friendly competition is highly contagious. And we have groups supporting Kamala that are not only non-traditional, but actually lots of fun. Just think about it, including Cat's Lady for Kamala. And most important, our youth. Our youth is once again re-engaged in large part because of the genuine authenticity of both the Vice President Kamala Harris and Governor Tim Walz. So excited that joy has re-entered our political discourse. And while we uplift our candidate, we also uplift each other. And we volunteer, and we donate, and we shout it out from the roof, at the top of our lungs from the rooftops. In short, we commit to fight to win. So how do we capture this unbounded enthusiasm and translate it to the secret sauce that will allow us to fight to win in November? How do we harmonize all three legs so that one of the three legs is not larger than the other, or that it doesn't fall shorter? Else the whole campaign will be wobbly. And that is where a campaign visionary strategist plays the utmost central role. Because it is so critical for us to win this election, because not winning is not an option. We have created a program for you these 2 days that explore all three major components of our fight to win. Later in this program, one of our panels will talk about the outsized role that the media has traditionally played in shaping our national political message in recent times. In recent times, AAPIs have started to own media outlets and communication firms. Some are influencers in modern social media. Some are enrolled as an opinion shaper that we have started to see ourselves and hear our political voices. This panel will explore the very complex, multidimensional, and multimodal role of political messaging. We have two more panels today. Both of them highlight our strong belief that our young leaders are our future. Our youth leader panels will talk about this new energy that is all around us, especially amongst the brat generation. Brat. 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 Okay. Okay. This panel will define what it means to fight, their strategies, their energy, their focusing in a campaign to fight to win. Our third panel of the day brings together a group of amazing young elected leaders in battleground states. And on each of the 2 days, I'm going to end the day with a roll call of all the AAPI elected officials at all levels. This roll call will show the depth and the strength of our pipeline. So I hope you're getting excited to learn how we're going to build all this together. This week is going to be very joyful. And think about it, later this week, on Thursday, exactly 5 years after my whispered prayer went up, Kamala Harris will be nominated as President of the United States. And when Kamala Harris and Tim Walz win in November, not only will my personal dream come true, but our collective dream, hope and desire for a better future for our country and community and families will come true. And that is why we must fight to win. Thank you. Now, at this time, I would like to bring up Judy Chu to give welcoming remarks.
Hello, AANHBI Democrats. I'm Congressmember Judy Chu, and I am chair of the Congressional Asian Pacific American Caucus, or what we call CAPAC. And I'm here to ask all of you, are you ready to elect Kamala Harris as our first Asian American Black woman president of the United States? Well, I am so thrilled to welcome each and every one of you to our AANHBI caucus meetings as we kick off the 2024 DNC convention. And there's somebody that I have to give a big shout out to, because Bell Young Hong has labored for this caucus since forever, because as long as I have been in Congress, she has been our voice in the DNC, making sure that the needs of the AAPI caucus are met. And you can see how passionate she is. And guess what? Today is her birthday. Can we sing happy birthday to her? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Belle. Happy birthday to you. Well, we have an incredible leader in her, and we also have our DNC Vice Chair, Senator Tammy Duckworth. So to all the leadership, Otto Lee, Amy Monk, Keith Umamoto, as well as all the staff who've made this happen today, thank you for your tireless work. As chair of CAPAC, I'm so proud to follow in the footsteps of leaders like Norm Mineta, Robert Underwood, and Patsy Mink in leading this caucus. And by the way, how about that quarter with Patsy Mink's face on it? Yes. Now we are finally getting the recognition that we are due for these amazing pioneers. But before our founding, there was a time when we were invisible in the halls of Congress. As a result, there was no one to speak up for us when one of the most discriminatory acts in our nation's history was passed, the Chinese Exclusion Act of 1882, and when Japanese Americans were incarcerated during World War II. That's why it is so significant to see the immense growth of our power. Today, we have 22 AANHPI members of Congress and 79 KPAC members. This is a historic high. And I want to recognize our incredible KPAC members that are here, our members of Congress, Jill Takuda from Hawaii, Raja Krishnamurthy from Illinois, Mark Takano from California, and of course, we acknowledged our wonderful Senator Tammy Duckworth. Because we have a seat at the table, we've pushed for the rights and needs of our communities. When COVID-19 resulted in 11,500 anti-Asian hate crimes and incidents, we got the COVID-19 Hate Crimes Act passed. When it was evident that so much of the American public did not know about the contributions of AANHPIs, we got the AANHPI Museum Study Bill passed to make sure that people knew that Asian American history is American history. When Trump targeted Chinese researchers as being spies for China through his China Initiative, we pushed back and we got that China Initiative to be ended. And we are still pushing back on Republican efforts to revive it. And now anti-Asian alien land laws that prevent Chinese nationals from owning homes proliferate. But we've successfully fought to keep these provisions out of major pieces of legislation going through Congress. Because we have a seat at the table, we push our federal government partners to ensure our communities are being seen, from requiring the Census Bureau to include AANHPI categories in their reports, to pushing every federal agency to disaggregate AANHPI data so we can improve linguistically and culturally appropriate outreach and ensure that our communities are seen and heard. But there's still so much to be done. We must protect and strengthen diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives and affirmative action. We must address unique challenges faced by NHPI communities. We must fight to achieve language access, health equity, and economic justice. We must continue to support our immigrant communities, and that's not just in Congress, but in states, cities, and towns across the nation. Our voices and votes on these issues must not be ignored. AANHPIs are the fastest growing racial group in the United States, and as a result, the fastest growing voting bloc. Yeah. Not only have we claimed our seat at the table, but today we are making a difference in the battleground states like Nevada, Philadelphia, and Georgia, and I expect them to be made again. Can everybody from these three states please stand, because we know you are the key of our success. Thank you. Because of you, AANHPIs have truly gone from being marginalized to being the margin of victory. And we need to take advantage of this incredible energy and enthusiasm all the way to victory in November. So I urge you all to remain engaged during this election season. So many of you already have leaned in and gotten involved, and I thank you for those efforts. And let me give a shout out to the Harris Waltz campaign for hiring a wonderful AANHPI Engagement Director, Nadia Belkin. Nadia. I tell you, she has already made a huge difference being right there on the ground to make sure that our needs and our voices are being heard. So for those of you who haven't gotten engaged yet, I encourage you to connect with Nadia and to do everything you can to organize test banks, phone banks, knocking on doors, postcards, fundraisers, and anything else you can think of to get out the vote and ensure we are once again the margin of victory in 2024. So thank you, and I look forward to building our community's power with you throughout this week and onwards towards November. Thank you all so much.
Thank you all very, very much. Several members of Congress have stopped in, and we had them scheduled at a little bit different times, but because of the delay in starting, I'm going to ask Congressman Raja to come up, please. And we do have panels for you, but it's going to be a little bit delayed because we have a very, very important visitor that's coming, and as soon as that person comes in, we're going to have to stop proceedings, okay? Please. Raja, please. Congressman Raja Krishnamurthy.
Good morning, Democrats. Welcome to Chicago. Welcome to Illinois. The weather is like this all year round. Well, look, I want to observe those 3 rules of public speaking. Be short, be sweet, and be gone. So 3 points. First of all, can you give a big round of applause again to Bell, the leadership? I can't hear you. My colleagues. And our home state senator, Tammy Duckworth. That is a crowd-pleasing line in this room. Second point, I want to say a big thank you to all of you for taking time out of your busy schedules to be here. Because why? We need to win this election and elect our first AANHPI President of the United States of America, Kamala Harris. There's that old saying in Washington, D.C., if you don't have a seat at the table, you're on the menu. We can never afford to be on the menu. We are pulling up our proverbial seats to the table, and now it's time to eat. It is extremely important that we vote in this election our numbers in this country. We are the fastest growing part of the electorate. The census says we are the best educated part of the electorate. We're the most prosperous part of the electorate. And I might add, you're some of the best looking people I've ever seen. But on a more serious note, the stakes could not be higher. I believe as you do. We Democrats all believe that this country is a place where everyone should be able to realize their potential, regardless of the color of their skin, where they come from, how they pray, whom they love, or the number of letters in their name. There are 29 in mine. We also believe that everyone should be able to get on the up escalator of the economy, regardless of whether they're poor, whether they're middle class, or whether they're growing a business. Am I right about that? So it's time to get involved, to get engaged, to make sure we vote, and to make sure that Kamala Harris becomes the next president of the United States. Thank you so much, and God bless all of you.
Well, in case you wonder where Belle is, we are getting ready for the special guest coming up as we speak right now. I just want everybody to stay put where you are. This is really exciting. If I have a drum, I'll do the drum roll right now. But it's, yes, thank you. Thank you, Irene. Yay. Oh, my dance number. No, you don't want to see my dance number. Everybody will leave. But seriously, this is really, I just want to say myself, I've never seen a 4 week test change so quickly in my entire life. Am I right? How things have changed in 4 weeks, and it's what we have been looking for. And you know, we AAPI and HPI, as Bell have said, has been on the sideline for so many years. And finally, our margin of victory that we've been demonstrating year after year, and now we're going to be on the top of the ticket, is absolutely historical. And that's why we are so excited, so energized. But again, energy and excitement does not equal to votes, right? We still need people to go back, to do the hard work, to register your friends, your families, to vote. And one thing I remember, my mom comes to me when I get 95 at home. She goes, what happened to the 5 points? When it comes to AAPI voting, what have we learned is that we are doing around 55%. People, that's a D, all right? Our parents won't be proud of a D, and we could do way better than that, am I right? Yes. And after you register, that's not it either. Because if you register and don't vote, it's like doing your homework and not turning it in. Am I right? And that's exactly why we need to make sure that we get our folks, friends, family, neighbors, nieces, nephews who just turned 18, will be turning 18 by November 5th, to register to vote now and be excited to make that happen, because that is how we're going to win in November. Everybody remember the day on 2016. Am I right, in November? Yes, we all thought, oh, we're going to get this, we'll win, and we have many tears. But that's not going to happen this time, right? All right, we got Mama Bell back. Here you go.
Thank you, thank you. Well, guess what? I have a surprise for you. I am so excited and so proud to welcome our vice presidential candidate, soon to be nominee for vice president, Command Master I'm going to start with the title that is very important to me. The Command Sergeant Major, Governor Tim Walz of Minnesota, a very well-beloved governor. And he's also the state champion. Yes? State champion football coach, and now our joyful warrior. Please welcome Governor Tim Walz of Minnesota. Thank you.
Madam Chair, thank you. Oh, it's wonderful, wonderful. Well, good morning, everyone. I said privileged to be introduced by Madam Chair, no less on her birthday, too. So happy birthday. So incredible. I also think in here, there's somewhere in here is someone I had the privilege of serving in Congress with, is Representative Judy Chu's around here somewhere, I believe. Oh, there she is, Judy. You are the best. It is good to see you again. And I believe Representative Dakota is here too from Hawaii. So they're good to see you. We did not get to serve together, but grateful to see you from the House. From the House, a person of the House. So, well, first of all, thank you all. Thank you for being here. You might have seen, a few people are kind of excited across this country for Kamala Harris. What they've seen is what you've known in Kamala Harris, a deeply kind, visionary, effective leader. She's taken that message. We were in a bus traveling around Western Pennsylvania yesterday, and folks are showing up in huge numbers, whether it's at baseball fields or in the Sheetz Quick Trip, wherever it was. Saturday, I was in Omaha, Nebraska, one of the largest crowds they've seen there. 4,500 people showed up in Omaha, Nebraska. All across this country, and they are showing up. In Las Vegas, Nevada last week, 12,000 people filled an arena. 4,000 people stood in 109-degree heat to try and go to that. And the director out there, Shelby, of the state party in Nevada, used that as an opportunity to sign up 5,000 new volunteers to work that out there. So for each and every one of you who comes, whether it's in elected office, whether it's working inside the caucus, it's all the same reason that you're here, that they showed up in that heat, they showed up in Omaha, they showed up in Pennsylvania, they showed up out in Arizona, they showed up in a field in Wisconsin. They all showed up because they love this country. That's why they showed up. Just like you. And look, this is a group that knows this is a journey. This is the great American journey towards a more perfect union. We know there's more work to be done. We know there's challenges in front of us. These are hard things to tackle, but hard work can be joyful work. Hard work can be happy when you're doing it. Hard work can be about making sure we're inclusive to everyone so that it truly means everyone. So you've watched Vice President Harris over the years. You've seen Mark. Good to see you. I didn't know you were here. Good to see you, my friend Mark. Who the whole group is here. Senator Duckworth. Good to see you. Oh my God. These two. These are national treasures. Keep them. So. But people showing up to do that work, and you see an economic plan that talks about something for everyone, where everyone can thrive. And this idea, I listened to her say this yesterday to a group of people in Pennsylvania. She said the mark of a leader or strength, it's not a strong leader to beat someone down. A strong leader lifts people up. A strong leader makes sure everyone's there. And you have watched what you've known in this room, that Kamala Harris is that strong leader. Kamala Harris is the person that can exhibit strength and kindness simultaneously. And don't ever mistake her kindness for weakness, because she's not. She said it. Say it to her face. Say it to her face if you've got something to say, and that's what she's told them. So look, I know all of you in this room know that the alternative is not a place we want to go back to. It is not a place we want to go back to. We're not going back to that. But what you're seeing across America is not people showing up and making homemade signs and standing in the heat and traveling to Chicago and putting up with long lines, which you all did. You know that's happening. You're not doing that out of fear. You're doing it about a hopefulness to move forward into the future. That's the difference. So to each and every one of you, we have the opportunity, and we'll see it. We'll have our official nominee. We will see the next President of the United States take the stage on Thursday night. And I say to this, we got 78 days of hard work. And I think this is a group of folks, and across this city today, we know something about hard work. Hard work's good work. Hard work's joyous work. And I keep saying this, 78 days is nothing. We'll sleep when we're dead. Now is not the time. Now is not the time. So, for each of you, let's wake up on that 79th day. Let's wake up and look into the eyes of your children. Look across to your neighbors and think, my God, we have a woman president. We have a president. We have a president that looks like America, that represents America, that does what we believe. So to each of you, thank you for the work. It is a privilege to be on this ticket. I know what my responsibility is. We've got her back every step of the way. She'll take care of the business she needs to go. We've got her back. Let's get it done. Thank you. I'm going to say thank you, Elvis. Senator.
Judy.
Good to see you. All those conversations.
It's amazing.
This is my first caucus. This is the first caucus. Thank you so much. Can we get a photo here with this girl?
Oh, yes.
Let's go.
Send me your new contact information. Thank you. What a way to celebrate. Yes! Huh? I'm gonna do Marta Cano, and then we're gonna go press.
You better tell him not to leave. You better tell him not to leave.
Leave already.
Tell him to sit. Tell him to come back.
Hey, how are you? Chat? Can you chat? This is good. Okay. Mark?
By the way, there was a morning. Morning. You better tell him like come back. So when they leave. How you doing?
We need to sit down.
It's too long of a pause.
Yeah, exactly. All right, everybody. We need you to get back to your seat, please, to get back to our program. That was very exciting to our future Vice President right here with everybody. Let's give him another round of applause, and let's get back to our regular programming. Thank you. Please, everybody, go back to your seat, please. Thank you. Mark, let's go first. Mark, go first.
Hello, everyone. Please take a seat. Everyone, please take a seat. I'd like to welcome Congressman Mark Takano to give his quick remarks. Yes, Mark.
Well, hello, Democrats. It's hard to remember this, but before we had the real black president, remember when Bill Clinton was supposedly the first black president? Well, Tim Walz is going to be the first Chinese vice president of our country. When he broke out in Mandarin with me like 5 years ago, my jaw dropped. I said, really? So my name is Mark Takano. I come from a family of Japanese Americans. I'm a former teacher, an openly gay man, and a proud representative. By the way, also an OG, the original Gaysian in Congress. And if we all work hard, we'll get we'll double the AAPI Caucus with Evan Lowe. I want to acknowledge another proud Gaysian in the state of Georgia, the Assistant Minority Leader, Sam Park. I'm also a proud representative of the California's 39th Congressional District, and I'm fired up to elect the first Asian American to the White House. As you know who that is, Kamala Harris. And while Donald Trump can't wrap his mind around mixed race people, we know better. Kamala Harris will be this country's first black woman to hold the title of President of the United States. You can do both. It's undeniable that the Vice President represents something special to us AAPIs, and we know that our place in America has been hard fought and hard won and can never be taken for granted. And the promise of our democracy means a great deal to us because we have felt the sting of its denial. We know what it means to be outsiders, relegated to people on the fringe. My grandparents and parents were incarcerated in camps during the Second World War for the crime of being Japanese American. And while half a world away, my great uncle Mon fought to gave his life in the U.S. Army's 442nd Regiment. Just imagine the split screen for a moment. A family divided by thousands of miles, one part of it imprisoned by their country, the other part fighting and dying for his country. Now, I tell you this not to bring us down or rub salt in the wound of what our country has done. I say this to remind us where we have been and why this moment matters. Our country has always been a great promise and perfectly conceived. And we certainly did not start out perfect, and we are always struggling and striving to live up to our ideals. And perhaps because I was a teacher, my first thought always goes to the classroom. One day, little boys and little girls will sit and read textbooks about our vice president, how she was the first woman, the first black woman, the first woman of Asian descent elected to the highest office in the land. How those children, many of whom look like us and represent our diversity, will know what they too can achieve. But to make sure that the ink on those pages actually says those things, we've got to do the work. We've got to knock on doors. We've got to talk to our neighbors. We've got to burn up those autodialers and give everything we've got to win this election. And as the motto of the 442nd of the infantry, the segregated Japanese American fighting unit that Jill Takuda is nodding her head, we share that heritage. The motto was go for broke, which means you bet it all on the country. Are you going to go for broke in November? So let's go for broke for Kamala Harris. Let's go for broke for Tim Walz. Let's go for broke for our democracy. Let's go for broke for our country. Thank you very much, and let's win.
Thank you so much, Congressman Takano. It now gives me great pleasure to introduce our favorite, I want to say just Illinois, but actually not just Illinois, but America's senator, Senator Tammy Duckworth. Thank you.
everyone. Thank you. Welcome. Woo! Welcome to Chicago. Welcome to Chicago. Listen, I am so proud that you're here in Chicago because we're going to tell the story of the Blue Wall. We're going to tell you the story of what it happens when you take progressive policies and put them into work. And when you respect women's reproductive choice, when you invest in labor unions, when we make sure that we invest in our public schools. These are all things we've done here in Illinois, and we continue to bring in foreign direct investment. But I am especially proud to be in this caucus room with Ma Bell and with the ANHPI community because we are the margin of victory in battleground state after battleground state after battleground state. I will tell you that John Ossoff and Raphael Warnock tell me all the time, it was the young Asian Americans, the young AANHPIers that was their margin of victory, and that's why they're senators today. But I gotta tell you, we have a heck of a lot more work to do in front of us. We need to reach out to our communities all across the country, back to those battleground states, to Michigan, to Ohio, exactly, to Wisconsin, places where we can win, but we have to turn out for them. So I'm here to lift you up, but I'm also here to put you back to work as well. Party hard today, have a lot of fun. It's funny, Mark Takano said that, you know, the Republicans are afraid of biracial people. And I'm like, I'm Thai, right? We know that you need both the nampla and the chili to make a spicy dish. You need all the spices, man. And then I'm just gonna end by saying, get back to work so we can get that racist, sexist, 5-time draft dodging felon SOB out of there. Thanks all. Thank you. Take care. All right, over to you, back on schedule.
Thank you so much, Senator. Congressman Green is in the house. Please give him a warm welcome. Thank you so much, Congressman, for stopping by. Thank you. At this time, I would love to welcome Congressman Ted Lieu. He is the highest-ranking member in the Congress, the highest-ranking AAPI member in Congress. He is the vice chair of the Democratic Caucus. Would you please come on up, Ted?
Hello. So all the members of Congress here today served in a Republican-controlled House for a year and a half. So let me just first say how thrilled I am to now stand in front of normal, rational, kind people. Want to thank Belle for the tremendous job she's done heading up the AANHPI Caucus. And I also want to give a shout out to my KPAC colleagues on the executive board. We have our chair, Judy Chu. We have our first vice chair, Grace Meng, second vice chair, Mark Takano, our freshman representative, the terrific Joe Takuda, and all the other KPAC members who are here with us today. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the AANHPI community, and there's both good news and bad news. So I'm going to start with the bad news first. As all of you know, there's been a shocking rise in hate crimes against Asian Americans. During the pandemic, it rose to 339%. And certainly that was egged on by a former president that used racist phrases like Kung Flu. He also essentially blamed the virus on people that look like us. And even today, he continues to repeatedly mock Elaine Chao's name. So when Donald Trump mocks Elaine Chao's name, he is not only disrespecting her, he is disrespecting you and your family and the community. And I wish you would stop. Now, the good news is the Biden-Harris administration is exactly the opposite. Joe Biden signed 2 executive orders to combat hate crimes. Kamala Harris has fought hate crimes her entire career, starting in her career as a prosecutor and then as Attorney General. And Congress passed 2 laws to fight the COVID-19 hate crimes, the bipartisan COVID-19 Hate Crimes Act that KPAC members helped push through. And if you look at our demographics, AAPIs are now the fastest growing group in America, doubling in size since 2000. The Pew Research report expects that by 2055, Asian Americans will be the largest immigrant group in America. And not just in places like California, New York, but places like Georgia, Nevada, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Arizona. And in fact, in each of those states I just named, there were more Asian Americans who voted in 2020 than the margin of victory. And so as Congressman Judy Chu says, we've now gone from being marginalized to now the margin of victory. Understand the power that you have. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Congressman Liu. Now it's my pleasure to bring up Congresswoman Jill Tokuda of Hawaii. Please come to the podium.
All right, aloha, everyone. Oh, we can do better. Aloha. Well, let me tell you, it is really hard for me to top the speakers we just had. Whether it's my Gaysian brother, Mark Takano, who is always there supporting me, or whether it is our McKinley High School alumni sister, Tammy Dugworth. And of course, I love to embarrass him, and he's still here. You do know Ted Lieu is the highest ranking Asian American Native Hawaiian Pacific Islander member of leadership in Congress in U.S. history, right? History. 248 years it took us to do this. And the Asian mother in me knows that one day, Ted, we're going to make you speaker, too. I always get him in trouble for that. But let me tell you something. If you've ever wondered if we mattered as a caucus, if you've ever wondered if people see us, then just take a look at what happened. The next vice president of the United States showed up. He showed up. He came here to make it very clear. He spoke Mandarin. Mandarin. He let us know definitively that he sees us, he hears us, he understands us, and he will be the one to lift us up in November. You know, I thought a lot about what I would say today, knowing I was going to go after a lot of very esteemed speakers, and my mind kept going back to a conversation that I had a little over a month ago with a great Democrat, possibly the greatest Democrat of all of us. And I remember telling him that people were questioning if he should run. And they've criticized how he speaks. And they've asked him whether or not he could win. And I told him, welcome to our world. No one ever asks us as ANHPI to run. We aren't often sought out to be put on the ballot. Our qualifications are often questioned, and not just by the public, but by ourselves many times. But we run anyway, because people need to see us. Our people, our children, our grandchildren need to see us in these positions. They need to hear us, and the bottom line is America will be stronger because of us. You know, 28 years ago in Chicago was my very first Democratic National Convention. Mark Takano was another delegate. We had 200 delegates of AANHPI descent. We were so proud of that particular moment. We had 6 members of Congress stop and take a moment to look how far we have come. We didn't need a room this big for our caucus back in the day. It was the smallest room, in fact, I would argue, that they would put us in, because that's all we needed at that time. A record 22 members of Congress, countless members and delegates that will be on the floor. Look right outside at the staff, the leadership within the campaign, AANHPI, everywhere, and most important, at the very top of the ticket, an AANHPI woman running for president. We didn't get here because we waited to be asked. We got here because we understood the importance of being present, and as the vice president soon-to-be said, showing up. You know, the great Shirley Chisholm, whose picture sits right across from Patsy's in the Capitol, would say that if they don't have a seat for you at the table, bring your own folding chair. And if there's no chairs, stand. My friends, we have been bringing our chairs, standing, forcing doors open, showing up, and this is our moment right now. We are, as Judy said, the margin of victory. Up and down this ticket, we will be a part of saving the very democracy of our country. Each and every one of you that has bravely stepped forward to run, raise your hands if you're a candidate. Stand up, stand up and be proud. Look at your candidates. Support them. They need you. You have been sitting too long, my friends. These are our AA and HPI candidates. And if you are supporting a candidate, you stand up too and be proud. Thank you. If you're a donor, if you're a canvasser, a volunteer, okay, everyone really should be standing in this room, but it's all good. They're very Asian of us. We're sitting down. But what I'm trying to say is right now we have a chance to take back the House. We have a chance to take the White House. Who's here from California right now? Let's hear you. Then you know what your job is. Derek Tran, Dave Min, Evan Lowe. We need to get them in Congress. Arizona. Where's Arizona? Okay, Arizona's not Arizona, right there. Then you need to be there for Amish Shah, who is neck and neck with Schweikert. We can take him out right now. Iowa. I have Iowa in the House. Iowa, I'm sure Iowa is somewhere, by the way. But if not, drive to Iowa. Lannon Bacom is in the dead heat with Zach Nunn. We can take them out. AA and HPI around the country need our help, and you know that. When AA and HPI vote, what happens? We win. AA and HPI win. When AA and HPI run for office, we win. When Kamala Harris wins, we win. You know what we've got to do between now and November. Our mission is clear. We need to get our people out to vote. We need to lift up all of our candidates here and outside working hard. And most importantly, we must elect Kamala Harris president. Thank you, my friends. We are going to win this November. That will be the best birthday present for Belle. Sorry,
Yes.
it'll be a little delayed.
I will take that birthday present. It now gives me great pleasure and honor and personal privilege to introduce my chair, Jamie Harrison. Yeah. Let me tell you what a difference it makes to have somebody that is not only our friend, but our ally. And Jamie has been our ally from day one. He has been there every step of the way, supporting us. And I can't say, I could take all day talking about him, so, but we don't have all day. So let me turn it over to my friend, Jamie Harrison.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Well, listen, first and foremost, thank you all. Thank you, thank you. First and foremost, I have to wish the belle of the ball. I have to wish her a very, very happy birthday. Happy birthday, Belle.
Thank you.
I don't know if you all know how much I love Belle, but I love her so, so much because she has always had my back. She has always been in my corner. And she fights for you all like nothing I have ever seen. She fights for this caucus. Every single thing that she can get for her caucus, for her community, she fights for it. And she's not quiet about it. You're going to know that she is there in your corner. And she's been that way for me as well. And Belle, thank you again for your leadership and your friendship over the years. Love you. Love you. And there's so many friends here in the caucus, so many friends. And I just want you all to know how grateful I am for each and every one of you and how grateful I am for this caucus. You know, it's amazing to think about the history that we are in right now. I want you all to know, to step back and think about this. You all are history makers. You all are history makers, and you are an important part of the history that we are making right now. In just a few minutes or a few hours, Now, I'm going to be on that stage with Mignon Moore as we gavel in this convention here in Chicago. And folks, I think about, and it's one of those things where you pinch yourself when I think about the history that we're about to make. That you have two African Americans that will be on that stage gaveling in. Just 60 years ago, Fannie Lou Hamer was testifying in front of the Credentials Committee where she had an all-white delegation. And she said, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. And fast forward, you will have two folks of color gaveling in this convention as we nominate our president, our next president, the first AANHPI and black woman president of the United States. Folks, that is history. That is history. And we know this, my friends. This community will make the difference in Georgia, in Nevada, in Michigan, in Pennsylvania, in Arizona, in all of our battleground states. And how do I know you will make the difference? Because you've made the difference before. We would not have won Georgia but for the AANHPI community. We wouldn't have done it. And so on behalf of a grateful party, on behalf of a president that has seen us, that has heard us, but most importantly, that has valued us and fought for us, for a vice president who I call our MVP, who is one of us, and for our new coach, Tim Walz, who also has been in our corner, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for standing in our corner. Thank you for fighting for us. And we know, because the vice president says this, when we fight, we win. And folks, we are the party of hope. We know what the other side is all about. We have seen how he has demonized the AANHPI community. And we are saying with one voice, one unified voice, enough is enough. We, my friends, are the party of hope. They're the party of fear. We are the party of hope. And hope will win every single time. So are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready to make history? Let's go do it, y'all. Okay. We're going to take a picture. Where should we do it? Right here?
I wanted to take a picture of the leadership with our, with my chair.
Okay, do you want to say when we fight, we win? Okay, on three.
Good. Yes.
1, 2, 3.
When we fight, we win.
Fight to win. Yeah. Okay. Who's here next? That's it. We start. Okay. I think we have actually 3 panels. Oh. We're good? Excuse me. Okay, can we bring the youth panel up? Ashley. Ashley is our DNC caucus member from Texas, and she's going to come and talk with the, bring the youth panel up to talk.
Good morning, y'all. The energy in this room is so incredible and through these halls today, and it's just gonna get better and better. And I just wanna give credit to the youth. I'll just be transparent. By DNC standards, I'm a DNC member, by the way, from Texas. I'm the co-founder of the C3 Asian Texans for Justice, and also the communications chair for Asian American Democrats of Texas. But by DNC standards, I'm officially old. As of a few years ago. And I just want to give credit to our real youth for creating like the memification and so much energy that has really catapulted all of the joy and the Generation Brat, as Belle mentioned earlier, who have bringing so much energy to this campaign. So thank you so much to Belle for making this time to highlight our incredible youth we have here today. I'll have them introduce themselves momentarily. How auspicious is it that today is Belle's birthday, but it is also a blue moon. So I think we are definitely going to be making Belle's wish come true and having that AA and HPI president finally. Let's go down. I'm going to have all of our panelists introduce themselves, their names, their pronouns, their titles, and their home state. Yeah.
Good afternoon. My name is Zoe Cowdery. I'm a council member out of Austin, Texas. He, him, his pronouns. I'm really excited to be here.
Hello, real quick. My name is Hugh Lee. I am from the proud Las Vegas, Nevada. And on top of that, I'm a nonprofit founder of the Nevada Esports Education League, Vietnamese community, and youth co-founder of the Youth Voice.
Steve, this is Anna. Hi everyone, I'm Bianca Shaw, born and raised in the great state of Maryland. And I was in the youth outreach for South Asians for Young.
Hey folks, my name is Annika Krogi. I use she, her pronouns. I'm from the great state of our great chair, South Carolina, and I am the national chairwoman of the High School Democrats of America. I just know we have so much energy in here. Let's keep that energy going because young people in this caucus are going to get those wins we need.
All right, we're going to just jump right in. The first question is going to be to our ladies down here at the end. And I'm just going to have to say, I know, like, we are blessed as an AA and HPI caucus to have some incredible electives that we've seen today. But if you are, like, in line to get selfies with the future of America, I know Kamala is going to be our first Asian president, but just wait. What, you all have, like, 10 or 15 years before you can run? Like, I've gotten the pleasure of being able to work and see these women lead in their respective spaces, and I do not say this lightly. Like, honestly, these are incredible leaders, and we are all experiencing this moment of hope and joy, and I want to hear from both of you of how you think we can take that hope-filled messaging to the youth to get them out to vote, because as Otto mentioned, energy isn't going to win this election alone, right? We've got to get to work.
Yeah, thank you, Ashley, for that question. So I think over the past few weeks, I've gotten a lot of questions from different folks in the API space, seeing the graphene, seeing all of the mobilization on social media, and asking why you now want to get engaged. What changed? So for a while, I was really trying to put my finger on what did truly change. And I came to realize that for most of us, and I know for most of us, I had just turned 16 years old when Trump came into office. Ami here was 10 when Trump came into office. So our entire time of being involved in politics, what we came up in, this entire political involvement and political environment was one of us
be that helping hand, to reach out to a young Asian AANHPI person that you know and tell them that there is a space for them in this party. They are welcome in this party. And not only are they welcome, they are needed in this party. Their voices matter in this party.
Can I call you?
I am only sitting here today because I had mentors who told me that my voice mattered and that what I had to say could make a difference, that I could represent high schoolers across our country on the issues that matter to us. And the high schoolers across this country, the students across this country, the young people across this country, they need to hear that from each and every single one of you. And if you are a young person, I cannot wait to see you out there knocking doors, making phone calls, helping elect more AA and HPI people to Congress, to elected officials, and making our community stronger.
Like, wasn't I right? Like, just these, y'all are amazing. I'm like just fangirling up here with everyone on this panel. A quick announcement: if anyone sees the birthday girl's phone, I think she might be missing it. She found it. Okay. I'm gonna kick it over to the gentleman over here on this side, Hugh. For those of you guys who might not have worked with him before, he is a master organizer in Nevada, which we know is a key state for Democrats this cycle. And we have a very large ANHPI population there, so they're definitely pivotal in being more than that margin of victory. And then Zoe Kadri here from my hometown of Austin, was a long shot city council candidate according to mainstream press. And because he had that experience of field on the ground, he rose up in the ranks as an organizer, he was able to take that city council seat and be our first Muslim and South Asian city councilor in the city of Austin. So I wanted to ask you both something that many, I think, of us now, I count myself included in that, the olds are wondering in the community of how do we actually get young people out to vote? How do we harness this energy? And what would you guys give as advice to us?
Well, first and foremost, I don't know how I'm on here as a youth. I feel very old being on this panel, but I'm really inspired by the folks to my left. So when I ran, even though I'm 34, no one's going to feel very old, I was the youngest candidate in the field. I'm currently the youngest member on the Austin City Council. I represent the youngest district in the city of Austin. The average age of the resident is 27 years old. And the University of Texas at Austin, but the more if anyone is a UT alum here, represents about half of the district. So for me, it was really important to make sure that we empowered everyone who lives in the district, and that included student voices, which for the most part, my predecessor and my predecessor often went ignored. So we had the youngest staff out of any race. Average age was 22 years old. Our campaign manager was the first time campaign manager. And for me, that was really important to empower really smart young folks who at times don't have that platform. We were the only local campaign to unionize. It's a belief of mine to everyone should be a part of a union, and paying everyone what they're worth, and paying everyone living wage. And then we went where students were. We actively campaigned on college at UT on college campuses. We made sure we heard from students. We ended up winning the UT precincts by 94 to 6, which is a really big number. But I think that comes down to people believe in the message that we're putting out there, but we were also listening to what they cared about. And then when we got into office, I still employ a fairly young staff. They currently have the Charlie, I'm too old to know what it is, but all the brass stuff on their desk. But we listened to issues that matter to students. So when it came to street lighting in West Campus, we made sure that was a priority. When it came to making sure that Austin no longer created student housing without windows, we made sure we took care of that. Anything that students really brought forward at the forefront on the campaign, we were making sure it was bringing policy. So I think just listen to folks, listen to students. They're really smart. That's why they work out.
Am I allowed to say this, that one of your staffers is actually, maybe I'm not allowed to say it, I'm going to say it anyways, is our national DNC Youth Council chair. So if you're heading to the youth councils, that's part of Team Zoe meetings.
So yeah, the future's up here, not me, but and make sure you listen to them.
The future and our present is up here also because they're already doing the work and leading.
So they'll start off with, everything you said is correct. And the youth here is the
Thank you. We're going to do, because I know we're tight on time, we're going to do a quick lightning round of questions. I'll start over here on Annika. Speed round of questions. Annika, and we'll go all the way down the road just as fast as we can. Where do you get your news from?
Mainly Instagram and podcasts.
TikTok, Twitter, and podcasts.
My biggest goal is Twitter and Spotify podcast.
I'm a boring council member. I would say Austin Monitor, Austin Statesman, Austin Chronicle, Lane.
All right, what are your top 2 priority issues?
Definitely this election cycle is protecting reproductive rights, which I know every single person in this room cares about. And also ending the gun violence crisis that we see across our nation. And people have to have a fear no matter where they are.
Mine would be healthcare affordability, making sure that we are saving Medicare, making sure that no provisions in that are strict. And then also reproductive rights, making sure we're looking at it with a reproductive justice lens.
Mine is pretty unique. Mine is more technology because I know technology is ever changing our world, including AI. And then my second one is elections because every vote matters and everyone counts.
My first one is housing. Austin is in a housing crisis, and making sure that folks can afford to live in the city is really important to myself and my colleagues. And the second thing is we have a state government in Texas that constantly goes after the most marginalized in our communities. So I think it's important for local governments in Texas to push back against the state that owes funding down. So it's important for folks to be able to live in Texas, in Austin. They should also feel safe, and pushing back against drag habit and friendliness is really important.
All right, what is the most used app on your phone? Like, for real.
Definitely TikTok. Instagram or TikTok.
My most used app is Twitch.
All right, and what is, name one, because we all know, I mean, I think our presidential nominees, or her mother actually said it best, that we are, none of us just, do we think any of us just fell out of a coconut tree, basically? And so it was very important to this group to voice how important it is to lift up each other, but especially our youth in this movement, and to draw on folks in the coalition. So they actually requested to me that we make space to be able to thank some of our mentors. So name a mentor or 2 if you have to, that you want to thank.
Yeah, there's so many folks who have helped me be here, and I'm grateful to all of them. I think it's important that we thank our mentors who made this possible. I want to actually give a shout out to Mama Bell, who helped make the ESC AAPI Caucus feel like a welcome space for young folks and for championing our issues, especially young AAPI folks' issues, because this panel and our voices would not be represented without her. So, Mama Bell.
I think that Mama Bell would be a lot of ours. But I do have 2 people I really want to thank. So when I first got involved in this space back in Maryland, I actually had an assignment to look up, my state delegate, and I found out that it was an Indian woman by the name of Aruna Miller. And she essentially took me under her wing and became a mentor to me throughout the years. Now she's the lieutenant governor of the great state of Maryland. And she's teaching me to do great things, but she's really showed me the true power of representation. And then one more person that taught me what organizing and relational organizing power looks like is Harini Krishna. I know she's got most of you in this room. AAPI organizing force over there. So proud to be an honorary daughter of yours.
Honestly, it's like everyone here. But I'm going to give 2 big shout outs. Rochelle and Yui Win over there. The biggest mentors in my life has been our AANHPI Legislative Caucus. Not only do we have Asian elected leaders that created their own caucus, but they've also taken our community, took our youth directly, and said, hey, you want to run for office? Let me help you. And they're the biggest mentors in my life, and especially when I was talking, they've always been in my heart and in my hands.
I'm gonna cheat and I'm gonna say 4 just because I'm like.
Nah, it's cool. Y'all do it. This is our moment.
Yeah. I would say number 1 is Lynn Wynn. I don't know if Lynn is here right now, but Lynn gave me my first job in politics. Without Lynn giving me a chance, I don't think I'm here right now. So shout out to Lynn. Number 2, I would say Roger Lau, who I worked on the Warren campaign. And when I thought about running Who, just a mentor and just the best person. Maybe one day she'll run for mayor or something of Austin, so go for it.
All right, thank you. With that, the youth panel and I have one last closing request, and I think Hugh said it best. I think all of y'all raised your hand that you have a phone in your hands, and in that, you have power. And we want to make the request that you get out your phone, and I really mean it, get out your phone right now. Take a photo if you want, take a selfie, whatever, just send a text. But we want you either, if you are a youth, maybe send a thank you right now to one of your mentors and let them know how much it's meant to help you get to the place that you are. If you are an elected or more established, take a moment to text someone young in your life and tell them to join us in this movement. Tell them about the energy that you're experiencing here. And take them to specifically tinyurl.com/AANHPI4HarrisWalls. tinyurl.com/AANHPI4HarrisWalls. And that will take them to be able to sign up to volunteer. And if you guys haven't signed up yet, type that into your phone and sign up now. And please, as you talk to folks from now into Election Day, continue to bring them into the fold and join this movement of joy, because we are ready to fight and we are definitely ready to win. Thank you guys so much. Enjoy the rest of your DNC. I think we're ready to get our next panel up here on stage now, probably. Well, this gives you guys a lot of times to continue to text people.
Aren't they fantastic? Please give them a round of applause. Okay, I have another surprise for you. This is going to be fun. Let me introduce you to Shahan Rizvi. He is the chair of the Howard County Democratic Central Committee in our state of Maryland. Now, in his other life, he is also a rapper. So he's going to call us to action. Come on. Shahan, thank you so much.
Greetings, AAPI Democrats. My name is Shahan Rizvi. I am chair for the Howard County Democratic Party in Maryland. I am the first South Asian and Muslim to serve this role. It's an absolute honor to be here with all of you in Chicago. Thank you, Belle, for the invitation to address this amazing caucus here today. I'm really excited to see all of you here. I feel your energy. I see our AAPI community collective power here on display and in full force. This community is increasingly becoming a very important voting bloc for the Democratic Party, and with your hard work and dedication, we are finally going to elect the first president with AAPI heritage, Vice President Kamala Harris, ladies and gentlemen. Celebrate that. It's a huge milestone for this community. Clearly, we must fight to win this election against the onslaught of lies and misinformation from the Republican Party as they attempt to divide us. We, the AAP and the AANPHI community, we cannot and must not get comfortable. We must fight to win, as Belle told us. Fight to win by knocking on doors and telling a neighbor about a delegate or Senate candidate that represents your values. Fight to win by encouraging your friends to register to vote. Fight to win by joining your local Democratic club so you can meet the future candidates that hope to represent you. Fight to win with your wallets and financially support Democratic candidates up and down the ballot. Republicans are playing for keeps. We must fight to win. Folks, you made it all the way here to Chicago to celebrate this moment. Now ask yourself this. In 2024, will you fight to win for democracy? How can you not in the face of Republican hypocrisies? Conservative philosophies and policies can't govern the people responsibly. Just see the January 6th atrocities. They take away our voting rights, discriminate with all their might. I'm talking banning abortions, public extortions, truth distortions. They only care about a portion. Republicans corrupt our education with no reservation. They led us to inflation. Now we must save the nation. Climate change is real, but GOP rather drag their heels. How many more natural disasters will humanity have to master till Republicans realize cutting emissions matter? No time for political actors. We must all be factors or face consequences hereafter. So if you dare, hit up your local party chairs. We'll take you from there, put you in pairs, have you knock some doors, work on the ground floor with a lot more in store for 2024. Come help a candidate win a down ballot race. Stop Donald Trump. Let him fall from grace. His name we erase. His words full of hate. Speaks fiction in haste. Fact checks he fakes. School funding he flakes. Don't bet against the blue. We playing high stakes. We push past the brakes. Make no mistake. Democrats await. Never Vance, never Trump. It's not up for debate. For my Dems bleeding blue. Come through for a few with your crew and your best walking shoes. Let's canvas together till we turn the whole hood blue. AAPI Democrats, grab some lit stacks, phone bank the facts, tell America we back. Thank you, AAPI community. Thank you, Bell.
Isn't that just amazing? Thank you. Thank you, Shahan. Now, I want you to know that he traveled all the way from Maryland just to do this for you this morning. So thank you, thank you, thank you, Shahan. Now it is my pleasure to call up the first panel. We're a little bit late, but the convention is giving us about an extra hour. We'll Andrew Yang and Jeff Yang and Jeffrey Rowe. This is the panel of the Jeffs. Will you all please come up? Andrew is going to be the moderator for this panel. He is currently the communications. He will introduce himself. I'm getting myself all messed up right now. But anyway, one of the things that I do want to share about him is that he was also the co-founder of AAPI several years ago, and he is very well versed in what we're about to do. We talked to you all earlier about the media panel. That's the first leg of the stool. So take it away.
Awesome, thank you, Val. And I wish I was Andrew Yang. I am Andrew Pang. All good, all good. No worries, no worries. But what a panel, right? And also, so Belle's birthday, we got Governor Walz in the house, we got our members of Congress, so it's pretty hyped today. So as Belle mentioned, I am the National ANHPI spokesperson for the Harris-Walz campaign. And also, I previously worked on comms at the White House Initiative on Asian Americans, Native Hawaiians, and Pacific Islanders, and today's panel is actually called Finding Our Voice. So similar to the panel before us, this one actually dives deep into ethnic media and the importance of sustaining community. And so we have two wonderful panelists with me today. So Jeff Yang and Dr. Jeffrey Rowe. So Jeff is actually a cultural critic and journalist. You may know him as the author of the New York Times bestseller Rise, a pop history of Asian America in the 90s and now. And also Jeff recently wrote The Golden Screen, the movies that made Asian America. And then Jeffrey is a chief executive officer at IntuitiveX, a life science consultancy and incubator that was created to help entrepreneurs and startups transform their ideas from conception to commercialization. He is also a board certified and award-winning specialist in minimally invasive spine surgery. Did you know that? But for the purpose of today's discussion, Jeffrey is the chair of the board of one of the new owners of the Northwest Asian Weekly, an award-winning weekly newspaper which has served Washington State's API communities for more than 40 years. So please give him a warm welcome. So today's panel is going to be a bit interesting. We've got a mix of communications, public relations, messaging, and also focused on ethnic press. And so, Jeffrey, I just wanted to kick it off for you for the first question, because you are the owner, one of the part owners of the Northwest Asian Weekly. Tell us about how you got to that point, and sort of, this newspaper in this digital age where press, ethnic press especially, are trying to survive. What was your goal in sort of becoming the new owner, and what are you, planning for the paper?
So the story of the Northwest Asian lived to when she was 19 years old in Hong Kong. Ended up like literally moving herself to the Seattle area because she felt like there were no opportunities for her as a woman in Hong Kong by herself. So what she ended up doing is she, by herself, flew over to Seattle and then took on odd jobs. It really is a quintessential American immigrant story. She first started like babysitting, doing housekeeping, and then also waitressing. And then she put herself through school and ended up getting a bachelor's in international studies at the University of Washington, and then a master's of communication at the University of Washington. Then she took $25,000 of her own money to start up a newspaper because she believed that there was a need to express the stories of immigrants. And she started off with the Seattle Chinese Post and then started the English version, which is the Northwest Asian Weekly. So the reason why we decided to take it over is because it's been around for over 41 years. And you know, more recently, Northwestern study in the School of Journalism shows that this is an astonishing figure, but 2.5 of these local newspapers shut down every single week. So everything that we do, all of our stories, all of our, you know, everything that we need in our community is being lost unless we actually protect these institutions.
Thank you, Jeffrey. And to Jeff, you know, you've been involved historically in the development of the API media space as sort of the creator of A Magazine, which was at the time the largest running national Asian American magazine. And so when we think about, yes, let's give it to Jeff. When we think about where, you know, our communities have gotten their news and sort of, to Jeffrey's point, where Assunta started the North Asian Weekly, it was a hard sort of challenge, right? You had to raise your money, you know, and so I am wondering, could you take us back to the historical context, sort of the development of the API media system, you know, your time at A Magazine, sort of why it's so challenging for APIs to sort of create their own publications?
Yeah, well, thank you so much, Andrew. And I might add, I'm a big fan of Yappy. I'm a big fan of all the efforts out there, both digital and in print, that are out there trying to give a voice to our communities, because that has been the journey that so many of us have sought, like to actually be heard in rooms like this, to be able to take space up in rooms like this, to be seen in rooms like this. And for the longest time, it was entrepreneurs in the ethnic media community who actually made that possible, who communicated and connected our communities together, and now who are representing these communities to the world. So first of all, salute to you, all you guys who have actually done your part making us seen in the world. When I, back in 1989, which is crazy, I can't believe that that is 35 years ago, co-founded a magazine called A Magazine Inside Asian America. Our goal was simply to create a publication that could trace the outlines of this emerging thing that we call Asian America, long before a lot of people were comfortable even using that term, right? We were challenged continuously. Do Asians even speak English? Why do you call yourselves Asians when there's so many different groups under the Asian umbrella, right? And my response to that was, why do you call yourself America when there's so many groups under the American umbrella, right? So we managed to actually last for 10 years before the digital revolution knocked us on our ass. We did, in fact, actually raise money to launch an online version of A Magazine. It's called A Online. Very, you know, let's just say that the domain name back then was a unique one, and when we actually, unfortunately, folded after the first .com collapse, the people who acquired that domain name put it to not great use. Don't go there. Anyway, but the bottom traditional media. So here we are in a digital world, moving faster than ever before. And what I want to say is this: when we talk about communicating, especially, right, for this generation, and again, as an old guy, late to the party of the digital and social space, I just want to say that I know I'm preaching in some cases to the choir. A lot of campaigns have a tendency to think we can reach people digitally by simply doing a press release, some bullet points, and some assets that people can just throw out on platforms. Well, the truth is, that is not what digital media is today. That's not what social is like today. People want interactivity. They want to be seen and felt and heard. They want to be a part of the media they consume. And so we're in a world now where if you want to be heard as a candidate or as a campaign, you need to not just push out assets, you need to be ready for remixing, right? You need to get people to react. You need to call out to people to respond. You need to put them, the audience, at the center of the message you're trying to put out there. And no one has done that better so far in our era than the Kamala Harris and Tim Walz campaign. So thank you guys. All you guys who are part of that soldier, you guys are fantastic.
Thank you, Jeff. And I do have a similar question, because when we talk about messaging and we even talk about the broader narrative about how NHPIs are political in this country, right? We've heard over and over and over, for generations, that we aren't political, that we aren't getting involved. And so how do you think that, API Media specifically, have we had a role in impacting that sort of narrative? Are we shaping our own narratives? What kinds of things are we doing? So to Jeff and also to Jeffrey.
Every time I hear that Asian Americans aren't political, I say to myself, even to call yourself Asian American is political, right? It's a political act to say that we, despite our differences, can stand together and achieve common goals together, right? And every single space we've been in as Asian Americans, we've had to do so as political beings. From the very beginning, as the only group in American history that has been excluded from this country because of our race, all the way through to the reality that throughout the 20th century, every single war that America went to was in Asia against people who looked like us. To the point where today, every time there's an economic crisis or a health crisis, what happens? Asian Americans find ourselves at the center, and more often than not, as the scapegoats. We are political people because we have to be, for survival, for support, for mutual existence. And my response to that then is simply put, we can't allow politics to happen to us. We have to happen to politics. And that's what's happening here.
So how many folks in this room were actually born in this country? Okay. And how many of you of your parents were not born in this country? How many of you are immigrants that came from another country? So this represents us. And I don't know about you, but like when I was growing up, I thirsted and hungered for any type of content about any information about people that looked like me, that sounded like me, that had the same experience that I did. And it really wasn't available except for magazines like magazines like I also watched and read Koram magazine, as well as Northwest Asian Weekly, because those were the stories that really inspired me. Just to let you know, Northwest Asian Weekly also helped propel someone that you know probably very well, Governor Gary Law from Washington State. Woo! So, Gary's actually a mentor of mine from a political standpoint. I met him many years ago. But Asutta Inc. and Northwest Asian Weekly helped to put his name in the spotlight. And I don't know if you saw this recently or not. He even tells you that Northwest Asian Weekly was
Thank you both. I also want to go broader to sort of API media's place in broader ethnic media consumption, even broader mainstream consumption, right? When we think about where the average person gets their news, you see differences among generations, right? Like, you know, the first generation folks, they'll get news from overseas or they'll have their own outlets. You see, you know, the third generation, English only. You saw it in sort of like the digital revolution where like Nextshark, Asm News, I guess the AAPI sort of counts. But sort of like when we're seeing this lack and sort of reduction in trust in mainstream news, and sort of what role can API media play in sort of restoring trust and sort of speaking to this new generation of APIs?
I think one of the most valuable things that news creators from more conventional spaces can do is to ensure that misinformation and disinformation are called out, right? There is that fact-checking component that our institutions have to do. As somebody who has written consistently for, you know, conventional newspapers, for NPR, I'm writing now for The Guardian, fact-checking is something that's part of the process in those spaces. But in virtually every other space, in any digital space, in any social space, there's nothing to actually flag whether something is AI generated, completely made up, coming from people who are dark parties seeking to destroy our democracy. These are very real things in our political system and in our political discourse. And for Asian Americans especially, we have very much been at the kind of tip of the spear, both on the technological side and also as targets of this kind of disinformation. So again, whether you're talking about ethnic media sources or sources within the communities, or simply just informed consumers of news, we do have the responsibility to not be, if you will, media bystanders, but upstanders. We need to actually call out things and say, no, that's not correct. We'll cite things that are correct, and we'll make sure that people know the truth, not the truth social. I'm sorry.
You had to say it. That's very well said.
Same goes to you. So what can folks do? Sort of like, how can API media sort of support and sort of help API voters currently, you know, when trust in media is so low?
So Bell recently sent out an email talking about the importance of having a strategy behind our tactical formula, right? And it really has to do with a few things. And it boils down to M plus M equals V, okay? That means that money plus the messaging equals the vote. And that's pure and simple. And that was brilliant, really. That's the strategy that we need to have. What that means is, I know as Asian Americans, we're not used to investing in things that don't benefit ourselves, okay? Let's just be honest about that, right? So we do take a more transactional approach than most, I would say. I would say when we invest in things, we expect a return for it, right? Like when you invest in a stock or a bond, when you invest in your 401k, you expect some sort of return at the end of the day, right? But I can tell you right now, in politics, you have to think of it as a long-term investment, you know, because quite frankly, the people outside of this room will not listen to us unless we bring money and votes to the table. They will not. And I can tell you right now, like, there are very few Asian Americans, even though that we're the fastest growing group of immigrants, we're the fastest growing group of electorates in the United States, you guys, like literally. We represent, in 2000, we represented 5 million votes. And in 2012, that doubled to almost 10 million. Today, we represent 15 million votes. 15 million votes. Biden won by 7 million votes in the last election. We can change that. Also, it really revolved around 3 states, Georgia, Arizona, and Wisconsin, and that represented 45,000 votes. We have the numbers, but you have to put in the money. We have to have the messaging through media outlets to spread the word in order to get the votes.
Thank you both. And our last question is very similar. So what can everyone here today do to sort of get our messaging out, to support ethnic media, et cetera? What do you think that takeaway is for them?
I mean, what I'll say is this, right? We need people to read closely, read carefully, to share and amplify. But one other thing I want to say is that we need to make sure that we're one of the critical things about our community is that we are not a single homogenous group. We have a lot of voices that need to be amplified. We have a lot of inclusiveness that we need to actually maintain. And that includes not just ethnic difference, but also differences of opinion, differences of priority, differences of agenda. There are people out there who are hurting. There are people out there who are filling the streets because they're seeing other people hurting. We cannot ignore that. We cannot be a party or a people or a community that tries to simply just move forward without engaging the very real issues at hand. I'm hoping that we will move forward from this convention fully united, ready to be joyful warriors for this incredible ticket. At the same time, we know that the work does not end with the nomination. It doesn't even end with the election. We have so much work to do beyond that, and hopefully all of us here can be a part of that.
Yeah, and really in closing, I will have to say this. We have to step up to the plate. I'm sorry, but we have to. We have to embrace the fact that we, as an Asian American NHPI population, I'm going to tell you the facts. We're younger, we're sexier, it's true, we're smarter, and we have more money than most people in the United States. So we have to man up, we have to woman up, we have to bring our wallets and give contributions. We have to make sure that these media outlets survive. That's what we have to do. But we have to do it together, and with Harris and Waltz, we're going to do it.
All right. Thank you, our panelists. No worries, no worries.
I love it. I love it. I was going to photobomb you. Thank you all very, very much. I'm going to make one quick announcement, and then I'm going to ask David Chu to come up in front of the next panel. Please join, and very apropos of this particular panel, please join the AANHPI training on narrative building and messaging at 1 p.m. In room 181A. Ashley is going to be one of the leaders in that. Please stand up so that everybody knows who you are. Okay. At this time, I know we're running fairly late, and because of what happened earlier, at the beginning of the session, but I would still like to do a roll call today. So will David Chu please come up? I think David, are you? Yeah, come on in. We want to be able to showcase our elected leadership to show our breadth and our depth.
All right. Good afternoon, Democrats. We fired up? Are we ready to go? All right, so when Mama Bell asks you to do something, you do something. So what I'm going to do is a little bit of a roll call of who is here in the room. From the Northeast, who do we have? Can we hear from you if you're here from the Northeast? I'm going to acknowledge some of the electeds that I know are here. State Senator John Liu. We've got from the New York City Council, Linda Lee and Shekhar Krishnan. Who do we? Give it up to them, and let's bring them up to the front if we can. From the South, we have some amazing delegates from Georgia, Representative Sam Park. We've got Representative Michelle Au. We have Senator Sheikh Rahman. I think we have at least one other. From North Carolina, do we have Representative Maria Cervania here? I know we've got from Texas, the mayor of San Antonio, Ron Nuremberg, as well as Austin City Councilor Zoe Quadri. From the Midwest, we saw Senator Duckworth and Congressman Raja before, but from Michigan, a state that we are going to hold, State Senator Stephanie Chang. And from Minnesota, Representative Kali Her. Where are you, Kali? She's coming somewhere here. Now, from the mountain region, we have Arizona Representative Janelle Cavero. And of course, from the great state of Nevada, we've got Yui Wynn, Representative Rochelle Wynn. And in fact, there are apparently 9 Wyns now representing office across the country, so let's hear for the Wyns. From the West Coast, another Wynn, State Senator Joe Wynn. Commissioner Sam Yu. All the way coming down from Alaska, we have Representative Genevieve Mina. And who do we have from Hawaii? I know Congressman Jill Takuda is here. Do we have any representatives from Hawaii, Oregon, and of course, I did not want to leave out my state of California. I'm David Chu, the City Attorney of San Francisco. But we also have Supervisor Otto Lee. We have the Mayor of Artesia, Ali Taj here. City Councilor from Cerritos, Frank Yokoyama. And anyone else who's an elected, come on up. Oh my God, come on up. Sorry, I didn't see everyone. I should have said that at the beginning. For Newcastle City Council, we've got Melissa Ramoso here. Thank you, City Councilor from Artesia. We've got, oh my God, Judy, Congresswoman Judy is here. Judy Chu. Come on up, everybody. If you have held office anywhere in the United States of America, let's do it. And Belle, can you get in the picture? Belle, get in the picture.
And we have one more panel left, so please don't leave.
Otto, please come up. Otto. I'm here. Okay. All right, we have one more panel to go, and this is the Battleground pipeline. These are all our frontline fighters. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to my Vice Chair, Otto Lee, to lead this panel.
Believe in me, it's still good morning, people. Good morning, Democrats. We have our last, but definitely not least panel, and actually these are the fighters in the front line that we need to go fight and win in these very difficult states that we are going to be working very hard. My name is Otto Lee, honored to be a vice chair of this as a sidekick of Bell. Today we are having a strategies on pipeline and battleground states, and today we have our Honorable Sam Park from the great state of Georgia. We also have Janelle Cavero, my own campaign manager way back when I was fighting in Fresno, now a own state representative from the great state of Arizona. And we have even more to come. From the great state of Pennsylvania, we have Honorable Arvind Venkat. And from the state of Nevada, right next to California, and we're going to turn this one, yes, Dui Nguyen Nui. And last but not least, we have our Honorable State Assembly Member Stephanie Chang. Yes. Oh, excuse me. My bad. I don't want to lower your title. It says, yes, Senator Stephanie Chang. Welcome, welcome. Well, this is really exciting because these are the battleground states that we are so focused on to make sure that we bring the win. As much as we always look at the national polls of how much we're ahead, how much we're behind, I tell people, don't even bother. It's not about the national polls that matters. Al Gore won many more millions more votes, and same as Hillary Clinton, and they were not the president of the United States. What really matters in this electoral college is the battleground states, right? And that's what we talk. That's why we have these amazing folks from these wonderful states to be here to explain what they're doing on state, day by day, to try to make sure that these, because it's a winner takes all. It's a winner takes all. Just by 50 votes, like what happened in 2000, 400 and some votes, Al Gore did not become the president of the United States in Florida. And for the same reason, I just also mentioned, besides winning those states for the presidential election, which is really important, I'm going to do a shameless plug on some of the races that's really important for our House representative. Because even if we win the White House, we can't do much. We cannot win the Senate, and we cannot win the House back. We have the Senate now, but our Senate map right now, we're really holding on really, really tightly. One of the most exciting races we have right now is actually New Jersey. Our own Andy Kim. Andy Kim will be our next senator of the United States. And let's give him a big round of applause to make sure. Yes, for Andy. Now, congressional seats, there are actually a few seats right in where I'm from in California. Believe it or not, that's going to make a difference. My good friend Evan Lowe, Assembly member from CD 26, right here. From California 45th, we have Derek Tran, an Army veteran, going to take out Michelle Steele finally in the red to blue states. We also have our current David Min, our state senator, for Assembly seat 40, Congressional seat 47. That's defending the seat that Katie Porter is currently holding. And finally, I want to talk about another amazing APA candidate. From the name you might not know, Lennon Backham from Iowa 3rd. These are the folks who are going to help us bring back the House to Democratic votes. So President Kamala Harris will be able to work with this Congress to make real change. So I have these QR codes right here. I'll leave out here, everybody. Please come scan those so that we can make sure we give the maximum support to these amazing folks fighting for us throughout our country. But without further ado, I'll turn the floor back to our amazing panelists right here. You want to start with this, Sam? All right, Sam Park from Georgia. Floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon or good morning, everyone. My name is Sam Park. I have the honor and privilege of being the first Asian American Democrat ever elected to the Georgia State Legislature. Thank you. And without a doubt, the Asian American community will continue to be the margin of victory in the state of Georgia. And here are the numbers. In 2020, President Biden won the state of Georgia with approximately 0.23% or 11,000 votes. The Asian American community today comprises 4% of the electorate in Georgia and more than 320,000 votes. From 2016 to 2022, and certainly for this year as well, the Asian American community has increased their civic participation rate compared to every other community in the state of Georgia. And we've seen more and more Asian American elected officials in the state, from Representatives Cyber Draper, Michelle Au, Sheikh Rahman. We have a great, powerful community that continues to exert their power. And one of the things that I think a lot of folks don't realize about Georgia is that the largest Asian ethnic community is South Asian. It's Indian American in Forsyth County, where we have Ashland Ramaswamy, who will be the first Gen Z candidate running for state senate. So folks are fired up and ready to go to elect Kamala Harris, but we need as much support as we can. So please donate, please call in, make phone, and come and canvass in Georgia as well. Thank you.
Janelle? That's right, good. ahead, Arvin.
Hello, everyone. My name is Arvin Beckett. Greetings from the Keystone State of Pennsylvania. I represent the North Hills suburbs of Pittsburgh. And to give you a sense of what's going on in Pennsylvania, my seat was held by the Republican Speaker of the House for 20 years. And I'm the first Democrat to represent my area in the State House in the history of Pennsylvania. I ran a couple years ago, and I'm sure my fellow electeds up here can recognize this. I got a lot of nods saying, that's nice that you're running, but you're never going to win that seat. But what I knew as a practicing emergency physician in my community coming out of COVID was that we needed direct engagement with the voters to succeed. And the lesson that I would leave with this group today is the way we are going to win every one of these Keystone seats is not from paid media, it's not from the press taking a position, it is from grassroots engagement with the voters. I personally have knocked on 29,000 doors in my district over the 2 years. And what I saw was that that is how you earn the trust of our community. To go from a seat that had elected Donald Trump by 6 points in 2016 to electing President Biden by close to 5 points in 2020, and then I was able to win by close to 11 points, it was because of that grassroots activism. And my community has a significant AAPI community within it, about 8% of the population, but it is not a predominantly AAPI community. And I will tell you, as an immigrant, and I am an immigrant, I was born in Madurai, I'm from the same part of India as Vice President Harris's mother is from, that there was a lot of fear in my immigrant family when I ran for office. My parents, asked me, why the heck are you doing this? And they used a different 4-letter word that ends with CK than heck. And about 3 months later, they were asking me about polling in the district, so that's how you kind of get to where you are in this effect. But there was a lot of fear, and there was a lot of concern that when I ran, how was that going to play out in a community that was not majority minority, that had never elected an Asian American elected official in recent times. And what I saw was that direct engagement is the way we earn trust, and it also elicits a response from our opponents. My opponent in my race 2 years ago, her paid media was, she's one of us, implying that I was not one of us. And my opponent this year has used similar rhetoric. And so that caused the Asian American community, in addition to my direct engagement, to want to be involved in the race. And so my lesson here as an elected official in the Battleground state is Vice President Harris is absolutely correct. When we fight, we win. When we engage, we win. When we meet voters where they are, we win. And I want to close out by saying that I sit in a state house that is controlled by Democrats for the first time in 12 years. 102 Democrats, 101 Republicans. That's how close Pennsylvania is. And I would be remiss if I didn't point out that in the audience is my colleague, Representative Tara Khan, who was also elected as an Asian American state representative in the same time that I was from And so we can do this, and our community is going to be the difference here. And I strongly urge us to get out there and knock doors, because that's what's going to make the difference on these margins that we need to win in every one of these states.
Thank you. Next up, we have Senator Stephanie Chang from the great state of Michigan, one of those must-win states, right? Yes.
Well, good morning. It is so good to be here. My name is Stephanie Chang. I'm a state senator for Michigan. I want to give a shout out to my son, who is our most newly elected state representative in Michigan. This is the most American election in state history, which is very, very exciting. I'm a daughter of Taiwanese American immigrants. I'm also the mom of 2 Black and Asian daughters who are very excited to help support our next president, Kamala Harris. So I want to talk a little
Thank you, Senator. And from the great state of Nevada, Dewey Nguyen. Go ahead, Dewey.
Thank you so much. Good morning or afternoon, whichever time zone you're still in. So glad to be here. My name is Dewey Nguyen. I have the honor to represent District 8 in the Nevada Assembly. I am, before I start, just want to also say I was actually not planning to be here. I know some of you like, I wasn't planning to be here, but you know, the only person that can get me to fly across country when in the middle of a campaign is Ma Bell. So thank you, Ma Bell, for opening doors and taking the lead for many years to make sure that people like me have an opportunity to be in elected role, and that's because of the hard work of many of our mentors and leaders in the room, especially folks here on this table as well, of opening the doors. And I'm here because I'm a testament of the product of folks like Mabel who opened the doors for us to walk through and be able to be here. And of course, I see Ambassador Wong here as well, another amazing trailblazer. But that's what we are as an Asian community. I wanted to make sure that I say this message to all of you. The reason I wore this outfit today is I'm proud of my heritage. I am Vietnamese. I'm an immigrant. I came to this country when I was 11 years old. You know, the path that we were told to be is to put our head down, go to school, be humble, don't make waves, and you know, be a doctor, be an engineer. Sorry, be a lawyer. I'm actually a bad Asian because I'm none of those. But you know, getting here to elected office is quite surreal because as an immigrant, you know, I'm also the first Asian or first immigrant in the entire state of Nevada to be elected to any office. And that is, we're clapping, but we should actually look around and say, why don't we do more to get more immigrants in office, right? I'm very honored to represent a district that is the first Asian district in the entire state of Nevada. 38% of my voter, 38% of my voter are ANHPI. That is powerful, but guess what? When I go to the doors, they don't know. They don't know how to engage in the process because why? We were told to be humble. We were told to not talk about our story, and we were told not to be visible. So we need to do this. I actually wore this outfit, my traditional outfit called AAPI, on the floor of the State House when I got sworn in doing my first term. And that's a powerful message because that's never been done in history of our House floor. So I asked the speaker if I can wear this outfit because it's important for folks to know and for the young people to see that there's someone from a different heritage that is part of the community and is part of the decision-making table. So when we get to be here, we need to be loud and correct people when they don't say our name correctly. They don't say, well, first of all, y'all, it's Nevada, not anything else, not Nevada, not Nevada, it's Nevada, okay? Bad, Nevada, so get that right. And just like Kamala, right? Nevada, Kamala. And then of course, Yui. The D is silent, think of me when you U-turn, don't forget that. But we need to be loud about it because we want folks to know that the immigrant community has a voice just like anybody else. We're here to stay, and we're here to make sure that not only we're at the table, but we're leading the table. And that is why I'm so proud to be in this role, and that's why this movement, you know, not only having a presidential nominee that are part of the Asian community, but we as what, you know, some of my colleagues already said, things start at the local level. So I really suggest everyone to go back, look around your community, and make sure, just like what Mabel did, open the door, because you can't be the first one, but also the last one. You gotta continue to open the door so that many, many others can walk through. So thank you.
What a wonderful panel. So we actually do have a little time for a little Q&A. So I just want to quickly summarize some of the things and the theme that I keep hearing today. One of which is, let's get our name right, right? Let's be proud of our heritage, right? Be able to share and show everybody who we are and why we're here. And we also need to be aware of the dog whistles that we hear so often, right? The so-called one of us. What does that mean? The them and us? And in many ways, I want to remind people when the word MAGA, what does Make America Great Again mean to those folks? Some says, is it really Make America White Again? Is that the racist statement that's implied in there? What are they talking about? Going back to what? The Jim Crow era? Is that the good days? Right? Because we are not going back, right, people? Isn't that the key? And I always try to explain to people, sometimes it's as easy as driving an automatic. Because on automatic, when you want to go reverse, what do you go? You go R. But when you want to go forward, you go D. And that's one of the message I want to get people to remember, to bring back as well. Other issues I think we talked about is how important is not just the top of the ballot, Congress and the Senate, but the state legislature and the local races. That's what really is protecting our community every day. After all, remember, we did suffer 4 years of Trump era. Remember those days? And who was really fighting back from those crazy stuff coming from Washington in the Trump era? Were the local government, the county and cities. I live in Santa Clara County, 2 million people in Silicon Valley. Our county council has fought no less than 10 cases against the Trump administration during that time when all those things are coming down. Because at the end of the day, the local county, the city, and the state legislatures is what's protecting our reproductive rights, our body, right? This is the level of government that is so important and so often overlooked. People just vote for the top ticket and we're done. No, you're not near done. That ballot is very, very long. So making sure people actually do go down the ballot and vote those other races is so much more important. And I always try to remind people too, you know, if your trash does not get picked up, do you call the President of the United States? No, you call your local council member and the local mayor, hey, my trash will not get picked up. And that's the same reason for your schools. You go to your school board members and go to those. And that's why the local elections are so important. The other thing we also get is about the need for direct engagement. Direct engagement. When we talk about grassroots organizations, the face-to-face is absolutely key. So the question I want to ask folks is as follows. Knocking on doors. I've done this a few times now, all the way to Reno, Nevada, actually, because I could drive there for 4 hours, and I bring my daughters, so I bring my oldest daughter right here, Aubrey. Hi. And she's been out there with me, knocking on doors for a long time. I will ask you, each of you, in your state, because those are the API population we want to touch to bring them out to vote, as they are the margin of victory. Where should we go? If we are going to bring folks and tell people to come to your state, where are the areas would you say would be the greatest API population that you would say, come over here to like Phoenix or wherever it might be, right? Janelle, that would be the place you would say would be most impactful. Go ahead. Georgia.
Georgia, it would be the northern suburban arc from Gwinnett County to North Fulton to Forsyth County. It's also where we have a lot of competitive state legislative races, which again is critically important. Feel free to reach out to me, to Michelle, Al, and some of them in Sheikh Rahman and others. If you want to come down to Canada, it's more than happy to help.
Pennsylvania.
Is suburbs of Philadelphia, Cumberland County, which is right outside Harrisburg, which is the vast
All right, let's give a big, huge round of applause for this amazing panel today. Representing us on all these Battleground State Fighting a Good Fight, thank you so much for being here. And turning this back to Ma Bell.
Thank you all very much. I just wanted to add one more thing to just kind of tell you all why this panel is so very important. It is through each one of their states that it's going to make the difference as to whether we win or we lose this election. So Arizona, Georgia, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Nevada. Keep that in your mind. Every single state is very important. Every single state is very important. But these states especially is particularly important because that is the path to one of the paths to victory for us. Yes, and especially because we have a significant number of AAPIs and we can make the difference. So thank you all very much for spending the time with us here today, and I appreciate your patience. I know it's been a kind of a challenging, so I thank you very much. So fight to win. Thank you. Alex, please come on. Before I close, and I want to thank all of you for your patience and for endurance and for all of your help and your support. I want to do a great shout out to my staff officer from the DNC, Alex Wan. Yeah. He is the DNC's director for AAPI Outreach Coalition. You know, every cycle they change the name, so I have to kind of remember. And then his partner in crime, and actually the three of us are partners in crime, is Nadia Belkin. She is the campaign's director for AAPI Coalition, and she had to go and staff another event. But Wednesday, when you come back, let's please make sure that we give them a big hand, and they're going to be talking more about the strategies for the Battleground going forward. Yes. So thank you all very much. Have a wonderful day, and then we'll see you at convention later tonight, and have a wonderful week. So thank you. See you back on Wednesday.